This is our first time we're doing a kickoff meeting for our national financial plan competition. But Vicki and I had talked about how can we share with what we do with the plan competition. So for those of you who I have not met, I am Greg Kurinec. I am on the U.S. chapter board. I act as the secretary on the board and can have kind of really taken the plan competition as my passion since I've jumped on the board. I love giving back to new advisors and potential advisors, and the plan competition really has kind of fell into my wheelhouse for that. We also have Vicki Caplinger here. She is the coordinator for the plan competition and director of membership services and the U.S. chapter board liaison. She is basically all things IARFC for us. She is our go-to person as the chapter board, and then when it comes to the competition, she's the first line of defense when it comes to questions and things of that nature. So we are both here today to share a little bit more about the IARFC's plan competition and answer any questions that you might have going forward, and hopefully provide you with some good information to encourage your students to move forward with the competition. So thank you all for being here today. What we are looking to do, again, is kick off what our plan competition is. And our photo here is just a demonstration from a couple of years ago doing our plan competition. But it really is a fairly lengthy process from start to finish on how the plan competition works. And with everybody here being an educator, I've seen educators use it in a few different ways. I've seen educators bring it to either their financial planning club at their university or college and do it more as an optional. We've also seen some educators where they base their entire coursework around the plan competition, and then we've seen a mix of the two in between. So it's really up to you guys on how you want to use it with your students, whether you make it a full part of your coursework or more of an option for maybe the club or something along those lines. So it's fairly straightforward on how we go about this. This is completely student driven. Obviously, you guys will be there for help to answer questions. We as a chapter are also here to answer any questions. We're not going to point anybody in any one direction as far as planning questions, but if you need some clarification on some of the details from the case study or anything like that, we are here to help. So first and foremost, what we're trying to do is get some experience developing a financial plan. Most of these students are in a financial planning program of some sort. We've also seen some students come from a finance or an economics major background participate as well. But for those that are financial planning focused, it's a way for them to really get their hands into a plan and start to work it out. One of the added benefits that with our plan competition is you are able to produce the plan however you see fit. So we've seen some schools stick to old school Excel spreadsheets, but we do provide you with your entry the use of Money Guide Pro, which is one of the industry leaders in financial planning software. That is what I use in my practice. I love Money Guide. I think it's very easy to learn, but by the students having the access to this financial planning software right off the bat will really help them kind of learn how the industry works. You'll experience some real world client situations and problems, and then you'll have the opportunity to network with some industry professionals, that being the chapter board members. If we have our conference or we have our meetings, you might have the opportunity to network with some other industry professionals, but we are all available to assist any way that you can. When it comes to the real world client situations, I've had the fortune of writing the case study. I think was my third or fourth year. And every year that I write the case study or the narrative for the plan competition, I have a couple of ideas in my head that I think that are pretty easy or layups that the students can focus on, but it's so interesting to see them take it in different directions. And for anybody that has ever been in the financial planning world, I like to say this is more art than science because there is no wrong way to do it. Obviously, there are core things that we need to incorporate and pay attention to. You can't get too crazy, but there is no one right solution that we're judging against. So it's however the students and the teams want to take it that is going to, that they see to best fit that client is one of the most interesting things that we see throughout the competition. However, when it comes to submitting your plan, there is some initial judging that gets done before we even start to dive into it. So this is where Vicki really jumps into the competition. When the plans first get submitted to her, she does all of this review on it. And we weed out, Vicki, what would you say? We weed out maybe 10 to 20% of the plans just on people not following the initial directions on
Yeah,
labeling things and tabbing things properly.
that would be correct.
Yeah. I mean, it's just silly things like that, like following actual directions to make sure that your plan can move on to the next round. Making sure it's postmarked appropriately, it's received on time, tabbing everything so we don't have to search through it. So just little things like that. But we are pretty strict when it comes to that because I think, especially when they start to enter the industry, there needs to be a semblance of professionalism, and this is the first step to that. So we don't give any passes. If anybody fails to meet any of these criteria, then we will disqualify them right away. After we get through that initial selection for phase one, all remaining plans are then reviewed by experienced financial professionals. So I have done a lot of the reviewing over the last several years. There are other members on the boards that will review as well. And really, it's a financial professional that is in the business taking a good look at what a financial plan should be, making sure that they're following the core steps and the outlines to the financial plan that we lay out, and making sure they're covering all the areas as we go along. So after we go through that initial review, we will narrow it down to 6 plans, and that is what we will call the semifinals. When we get to the semifinals, they are then virtually presented to our board of trustees through the IARFC. So we will sit down with the fictional couple. Randy has played that role for the last several years, and so has another one of our team members, Judy Nelson, sat in as part of the couple, and they will each deliver their plan virtually to the board of trustees. They will then go through another round of voting, and we will narrow the teams down to a number of 3, and now those teams have now reached the finals. For our finals, this is where you are going to present to the the total IARFC. The entire U.S. chapter board will sit down and review one more time. They are presented in person, and then we will narrow it down to our winner. On the screen, you see several locations that we have presented to in the past. We have also done this virtually, especially during the COVID area. So we do not have a location set yet for 2026, but as soon as we determine how we are going to go about that, we will be sure to let you know. But these are just some of the locations. Okay. With that, if you make it to the finals, all expenses are paid for the students to come to present in person. So we're not expecting them to pick up flights or anything like that. That is taken care of through the plan competition. So, one of the major things, especially after meeting with students after they have done the plans, is just the experience of delivering a plan. Now, for the most part, this is usually their first or only second time ever presenting in front of people, especially a financial plan. Now, for us that are practitioners, we've probably never had to present a financial plan in front of a room of, 10, 20, 30 people before. So that's a little daunting. But even presenting a plan to a fictional couple is a lot different than what we do in class. So I believe it gives them a little bit more experience as far as their delivery, their tone, the speed at which they speak, to make sure that they're hitting all these key things while delivering the plan. They'll also get real hand feedback from professionals that are there. So it will only help to fine tune their skills as they really start to enter the profession. They will have the ability to network with other professionals. And again, a lot of the students have found this truly valuable. It's fun to talk to them to just see, hey, which direction are they leaning as far as do they want to be practicing practitioners? Do they want to be more operations? Do they want to go to the broker dealer environment? Do they want to go the RIA route? Do they want to go to a wirehouse or a big firm or a small firm? And just being able to get feedback from a well diversified group of professionals that have all experienced that in one way or another. They will get recognition through our social media posts and through our quarterly magazine, The Register. So that'll be something that they will get to use, as their portfolio, so to speak, on, as they're building up their reputation as planners. So they will have the ability to do that as well. Something that they can keep in their little press packet.
Their plan is published in the Journal of Personal Finance as well.
Yes, that is true. So the Journal of Personal Finance that we publish a couple of times a year, their full plan and results are in there as well. And then ultimately, we want this to be a good experience for them. We want them to have some fun, to get out and meet new people, meet with peers. It's nice when we get all three different colleges together and the students all gravitate and they get to talk about, hey, where are you going to work? What are your thought process? Now, it was really interesting last year. I believe one of our winners, he was only a freshman or a sophomore last year. So he still had, a couple of years to go. But it really helped to guide him as far as when it came to applying for jobs and building out resumes and things of that nature. These are some of our past participants that we've seen. This is only a handful. We've had many more, but we're looking to grow this list each and every year, which is why we've decided to move forward and do this kickoff meeting here today. So registrations are currently open. We are looking to expand our list. And if you had any questions, please reach out to Vicki or myself, and we're happy to answer any questions that you might have. Now, joining us today, we have our 2024 winner, professor of our winner, Dave Reagan from University of North Texas. And he is, and Luke is here. All right. Thanks, Luke, for coming as well. They are both here and they're going to share a couple of words. So, Dave, if you wouldn't mind sharing a couple of words on how you use the plan competition and how it's impacted your students.
I would be more than happy to. Thank you, Greg. And thank you not just to you, but to the entire IARFC organization. I know this takes a tremendous amount of time and effort to organize, weed through, host. So you guys do a phenomenal job, and we're honored just to be a part of it. We try to make it an annual event, and how we have viewed and incorporate this plan competition is it's actually inside. We're one of the schools that will incorporate this as part of our capstone course. I like this IARFC competition for a couple different reasons. One is the case studies are excellently written. So hats off to you, Greg, for doing a good job writing those case studies. It's one it's hard to find good case studies, and this is one of them. So as requirement, as part of the capstone course, all of my students are required to participate in teams in this IARFC competition. And we do a couple plans in class through the capstone, and this is the last one. The timeline aligns well for a fall semester course, and everybody receives the same case narrative. And I tell the class, I don't even know what it's going to be like. I don't know the planning strategies that will be developed. So as we're going through the capstone and looking at sample plans, they'll be developing another based on another case study, another plan. But at the end, it all culminates into the IARFC plan competition. And that's a big portion of their final course grade, because I'll go through and grade it. And it's one of the grade criteria that goes into the grade book. And once I grade everything, then I will, for simplicity, I'll collect them, then I'll just send it all off to the IARFC. So it's been a wonderful experience for students, even if they don't make it to the top three and present in person. Maybe they make it to the semifinals, but the case and how it's written has always been exceptional. I also really enjoy the fact that students can use actual financial planning software in the case development. Uh, it, I know each school can structure how they want to, but I like the idea of incorporating Money Guide Pro, good, true financial planning tools that practitioners will use every day. So there's lots of benefits in how the University of North Texas incorporates this, and we're just honored to continue to be a part of it, and we'll be participating again this year.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. I'm glad that you guys find the value in it. That's what we are trying to build out to. So we also have our 2025 winners educator, but that's shortchanging UVU. I think Luke has won several times in the past, but Luke, if you wouldn't mind jumping on and just sharing a few words.
Yeah, I feel like UNT is always in the top three. It's really hard to make the top six, much less the top three, and North Texas is always there too. So like there's some good things happening at these universities to train the next gen. But my favorite part about the IARFC competition, just in contrast to some other competitions that are out there, some of the other competitions prohibit you from using software. They prohibit you from getting like insight from professionals, from professors. Like the IARFC case study, it's a hard case. Each year it changes and covers different nuances that require the students to do a lot of research. But I love that they can use real professional tools like the software, that they can find out from real professionals some things that they might do to assist a client with this kind of situation. Because that's the real magic of this competition, is that they're learning from real professionals. Even if they don't make the semifinals or the finals, they had an incredible learning experience just trying to prepare the case and learn for it. And then there's obvious benefits if they make the semifinals. It's a great line on their resume. It's a good thing to communicate as they're applying for jobs, that not only am I studying this, but I'm competing nationally and placing. And then the IRFC does a great job at the finals, really treating the students first class, and the professionals at the conference really rally around the next gen and mentor them, guide them, try to hire them, which is really nice. Um, so I guess another thing I love as a professor about this competition is they give us a new case every year, right? If we do the same case we've done in previous semesters, students have friends that were in the class, and instead of learning, they kind of lean on previous work that was already done. And so I love that the IRFC gives us a total brand new case every year that the students have to go research. They can't just lean on what students did last semester. It does require me as a professor more work to use a brand new case, but to me it ensures that the students are learning, not copying. Um, so that's really valuable. In anything I missed there, Dave?
No, you're spot on in everything you said, especially for those that are fortunate and have put together a really good tight plan. Being in the final three, it's just a phenomenal experience for all involved, students and professors, because you are there rubbing shoulders with people who are in the trenches doing the work and maybe even looking to hire. So it's a great opportunity all the way around. It's a win-win across the board.
So I want to give an observation, because I every fall semester I require my financial planning students to compete in the case study because it's such a valuable experience. Like we're already going to do a case study in class, might as well do a real competition. And In the off semester, when the IARFC isn't running their competition and it's just an assignment, the quality of work I get from students is way less when it's not part of the competition. When the students are just doing it for feedback and grade from the professor, right? There's always a bell curve, but just the effort is nowhere near what I get when they are competing in the IARFC competition. That they are not trying to get my grade and my feedback. They want a professional experience. And so just as a professor, if you can get your students to work way harder, that's a huge win. And literally it's the IARFC doing it. So thank you for all the time and expense you put into this competition, but it really is helping the learning experience on our campus. So I kind of wish you run it every semester.
Yeah, we do. We follow up. We do it again, but I know it's a lot of time. And Luke's right again. It's the I play up, and I think rightfully so, the fact that students have the opportunity to put something neat on a resume, even if they make it to the semifinals. And if they make it to the finals, wow, guess what, kids? You get a free trip to the Biltmore Estate in North Carolina, which was absolutely beautiful and a great experience. So college students generally like anything with the word free, especially if it's followed by a trip.
Well, thank you both of you for your feedback. I appreciate your consistency in participating. I appreciate you guys providing the feedback to some of the other professors here today. And we look forward to having you again this year.
Thank you, Greg.
So, with that, registration is open. Okay, so if you are interested in participating, the registration is open for that. We are here to answer any questions that you have. We are here to help out in any way. I did see a couple of questions come in the Q&A box, so let me take a quick. The first question: can students participate if they are going to graduate in December of 2025? I would say yes. That's fine. They can continue to participate in that. You know, depending on where they're going to be when we hold our semifinals and finals. I believe there's a timeline coming up here on the next slide. That's going to be well into 2026, but they can continue to participate. Can students use software in addition to Money Guide Pro? Yes. I believe Luke uses just simple Excel spreadsheets to go along with Money Guide Pro. Whatever resources are available, we are okay with. Okay. I was talking to a team member, and I think it was from UVU last year, but I could be wrong, where they were calling up local insurance agents based on where the case study was set, just to try and get insurance quotes from them. So depending on how far they want to dig in, you know, we're fine with that. What is the role of the faculty advisor? As Luke and Dave just kind of articulated, they both use it as classwork. I mentioned earlier, I've seen other universities use it as part of their financial planning club. So it's kind of up to you as the faculty member how much you want to be involved in it, how much time and effort you want to provide to each team or to each class as well. No, we have not announced where the forum or the planned competition is going to be held yet in April. So that is still to be determined. As soon as we determine that, we will be sure to let you guys know as well. So those are all very good questions. Keep them coming if you have any more.
Greg, if you don't mind, I had another big benefit of this competition I wanted to share, that it not only covers the planning skills in round one, but then in round two, the clients they're presenting to as they're doing their presentation skills, which are also really important, they throw a curveball at them every year where something totally changes on the spot and the students have to adapt. And that is such good training for the students, that not only are they learning how to create a plan, how to present it in a professional way, but they're learning how to look a human in the face that's telling them, hey, we just found out we have stage 4 cancer, or are getting divorced, or like, you always throw a really wicked curveball in the semifinals, but it is such a good thing for the students to learn to prepare for. And so I love that. No other competition does that.
Yeah, and that is part of the presentation of it. We do try to throw a curveball in there. We're not going to do anything to completely derail their presentation. That is not our intent by any means. You know, we want to just make sure that they can think on their feet a little bit. And when I say think on your feet, sometimes the best answer is, I'm not sure. We're going to have to do some more digging on that. You know, we don't expect them to have immediate knowledge or immediate answers right off the bat. Like Luke said, it's more on working on the presentation skills portion of it. So, this is a timeline of where we're looking at. So, we mentioned registration is open. We have our deadline for registering goes until October 17th. You will begin to have access on October 31st to Money Guide Pro. Okay. Everything will be sent out to you then. And then we are looking for plan submissions by December 5th. Okay. So once we start to receive them, the plans in, that's when Vicki is going to do her initial review, make sure that everything follows those initial guidelines we sent forth, tabs, 3-ring binder, all that good stuff. Okay. Then we will go into our second round of judging where we will review it and narrow it down to the final 6. Then we come down to our semifinals, getting that 6 down to 3, and then our last phase on a date and location to be determined will be the three teams presenting to the chapter to the group. Okay, so that is kind of the timeline. As I said, you know, usually that final phase is somewhere around, it's in April. Okay, so it could be any time in April is generally when we're doing that phase 4 finals. If you have any questions, here is all of our contact information. Okay. We really hope to see more people involved this year. We're here to help any way that we can. If you choose to enter the competition and you have questions, whether it be about the narrative or presentation or any of the deadlines, please reach out. Don't make assumptions. We want to make sure that this is a success for everybody involved. The last thing that I want to touch on before I get back into the questions is a new opportunity that we are rolling out at the IARFC, and this is the registered financial student. So what we're trying to do, again, part of why I have been so committed to the plan competition is it has become a passion of mine to train the next generation of financial planners. So part of that is giving these students access to information and experiences that some of these organizations have without yet being a financial planner. So we created this registered financial student so that these students will have access to all of the IARFC material as soon as they wish. So it's a way to get involved in an organization before graduation. Kind of use it again as a little bit of a resume builder, as a way to network with some professionals, and a way to research and look at all the education that we have available. So the starting membership fee for the registered financial student is only $20 for the year. Okay. We will maintain that $20 membership. I would say we'll maintain it for as long as they are a student. So if you had a freshman that wanted to get involved, I'm going to go ahead and I'll tell them that if they wanted to be involved as a registered financial student, we can maintain that $20 for as long as they are a student. After that, it only goes up to $50. So again, a way to gain some experience, some knowledge, be involved with a long-running organization, to just again build your resume a little bit more. Vicki, did you have something to add?
I didn't really mean to do that, but
Okay.
but yes, there is also the RFA as well. If they qualify for that, then they can switch from the RFS to the RFA.
And that is kind of our goal with the RFS, is to get them into the association early, learn about the association, do some networking, and then as they start to build their career and their resume, then they can progress through the other designations that we have as well, that they can then put on their business cards and things like that. So, a way for them to kind of dip a toe, but still have some membership, to still have a little bit of skin in the game, to learn more outside of the classroom than having another resource. So this is something that we're really excited about as well. Thank you everybody for attending. Thank you Dave and Luke for contributing here today. We really appreciate your involvement this year and in years past. But if anybody has any questions that they think of, please reach out to myself or Vicki. We are happy to guide you through as much as we can. So we look forward to seeing everybody this year.